You know, every once in a while, Blizzard releases something that makes you lean back and go, wait, are we actually cooking again? And Midnight feels exactly like that. For the first time in almost a decade, World of Warcraft is bringing the war back home. To Quel'Thalas, to places people actually care about. It feels like Blizzard's last chance to prove they remembered how to tell a grounded Warcraft story. Midnight drops you into Quel'Thalas, mid-apocalypse, with the Void trying to eat the Sunwell like it's the last cookie on Azeroth. And that immediately matters, because the Sunwell is the heart of an entire race, a place the player base has been begging to revisit since the Burning Crusade. Blizzard finally said, okay, fine, let's go back to where the good stories actually live. That's why Midnight kind of feels fresh, in my opinion. It's a familiar world that's actually changing in front of you. This is what Warcraft used to do. Move the story forward by putting beloved cities under threat and forcing factions to choose between ideals and survival. From the second you step into Quel'Thalas, you can tell something's wrong. A devouring storm, screaming and pulling entire squads off the battlefield. The opening scenario is the best thing Blizzard has done since the Legion broke shore. It's basically the aftermath of the cinematic you've seen on YouTube. The sky cracking open, Blood Knights scrambling to anchor the Sunwell. And for once, I actually felt like I needed to defend my home against this new evil. It feels like a real war. One with urgency and consequences. It's a miracle this wasn't another 10-minute cutscene followed by, alright champion, kill 12 voidlings. Instead, Blizzard lets you sit in the chaos. They let you feel how close this place is to absolute annihilation. That's good World of Warcraft. It's personal. World of Warcraft without conflict, it's kind of like Sylvanas without gaslighting. It doesn't really work, in my opinion. Shadowlands felt like watching co-workers awkwardly apologizing in a break room. Dragonflight felt like the safest Disney movie I've ever seen in my entire life. Like How to Train Your Dragon, Warcraft edition. But Midnight, well, the Blood Elves and the Army of the Light absolutely hate each other, and Blizzard finally lets them act like it. Lor'themar and Turalyon spend the entire story one wrong sentence away from throwing hands.
But remember that Silvermoon and the Sunwell belong to the Sin'dorei. You have already taken so many of my Blood Knights to empower the Sunwell. Quel'Thalas is largely undefended.
I will discuss matters with the Regent Lord.
They're practically seconds away from choosing violence, and it's beautiful. Turalyon treats the Sunwell like it's his fountain, as he calls it. Lor'themar treats Turalyon like an unwanted guest. Both of them think they're right. Both of them believe they're the only thing keeping this place alive. And both of them absolutely refuse to back down. It feels like World of Warcraft again. Flawed leaders with clashing ideologies, stuck in the same bad group finder pug, arguing who's the raid leader. Arator feels like it's gonna be the heart of this expansion, because Blizzard finally made a paladin who isn't really a walking traumatized sad boy like Anduin. Arator is young and idealistic, but also deeply uncomfortable with what the light is doing through him. And I'm so in love with this idea. He's a kid who calls upon the light, and instead of peace and purpose, he feels rage. He tells you about this moment where he channels the light and realizes that it wants something from him, something really violent.
It was in such pain. When I was overcome by wrath, I lashed out in my pain. Is it the same for the Void as it is for the light? The Vanguard has faith in the light, and so do I. But I've also felt it fill me with wrath. And I'm not sure what to think when it does.
And you can see the fear in his voice. Yuri Lowenthal is crushing it with the acting. He starts questioning the thing paladins are supposed to question. What if the light isn't as pure and good as we think it is? That's the kind of moral tension World of Warcraft hasn't touched since Xera tried to forcibly purify Illidan and Legion. And Arator stands right in that gap between belief and doubt. He's the paladin Anduin should have been. I say with affection, Anduin is the decorative plant of Midnight. He's chilling in a tavern, he's doing nothing, just massaging the Sunwell with his new Arathi girlfriend, then you find him chilling in a tavern. The literal golden boy of World of Warcraft is sitting non-existent in the story, despite him being featured as a core character in the World Soul Saga. I might be wrong, but let's see what he does in the future. Oh, and by the way, Jaina is still missing. Same as the other character who was implied as being the main character as well, Thrall. Let Turalyon and Lor'themar chew on each other's throats. Let Arator become something new. That's what I want. Liadrin is exactly what she should be. calm, unshakable, and completely done with anyone's cosmic nonsense. Lor'themar has the best writing he's had in years. He's tired, fed up with the outsiders telling him how to protect his own people. They don't quietly accept the Army of the Light turning Silvermoon into a Crusader theme park. It's that grounded leadership World of Warcraft has been missing. People who actually care about their land, instead of being Muppets for whatever cosmic chart Blizzard wanted to teach us this patch. This is where Midnight shows his teeth. Everyone expected the Void to be the problem. The Light is acting weird and aggressive as well, like a parasite in Quel'Thalas.
And there's no telling how it could be affecting the rest of Eversong, especially the Lightbloom. We need an alternative course of action.
We Randori can aid you in finding one. Grant us entry into Silvermoon.
Absolutely not! Your mere presence would risk defiling the Sunwell with void magic.
Then it seems we have nothing more to discuss. I'll continue my research in Tranquillion, should you choose to see reason.
The Lightbloom is beautiful and absolutely lethal. A flower that bloomed by the power of the Sunwell spread through all Eversong woods and ghostlands, like Cersei's wildfire in Season 6 of Game of Thrones. You have Arator questioning his entire identity because of it.
But this light bloom is teeming with creatures driven by the light. They're killing people!
And you have the Void Elves, the Randori, offering actual help, because this corruption is something they might understand. It's the exact kind of two wrong answers storytelling World of Warcraft used to excel at. Then the story zooms in, from cosmic invasion to local cult activity. And it works. They're desperate, and the desperation makes the world feel alive. You uncover ambushes, assassinations, hidden maps, targets across Eversong. And for once, that's really good storytelling. A mystery, that's all we needed to have. I think the real magic of Midnight is the actual tone of the story. The expansion kind of feels grounded in a way World of Warcraft hasn't felt since TBC and Wrath. But I might be wrong, I'm still skeptical. Raging paladins with conflicted beliefs, desperate blood elves fighting for their home, cultists trying to survive, a holy power that might be too powerful, and a void threat that actually feels really scary. It's World of Warcraft. And it feels earned in my opinion, since last expansions dropped us into unwanted lands with unwanted characters we didn't know anything about. Quel'Thalas feels refreshing. Blizzard has burned through a lot of goodwill these past few years. Players were starving for conflict and characters who didn't feel like they were writing HR-approved emails to each other. Midnight is the first expansion in years where Blizzard remembered people don't care about the universe. People care about the characters inside the universe. If they turn it into a cosmic lecture halfway through, if they forget that conflict is what makes World of Warcraft, then yeah, this could be the last time players give them this level of attention. Midnight could be the expansion that finally drags World of Warcraft's soul out of the algorithmic graveyard and reminds people why this world mattered in the first place. That's my case. If you've played the beta, I'd love to hear what you felt. Which characters stood out, which moments hit you, and whether you think Blizzard is finally steering this ship in the right direction again. Because I think at the end of the day, World of Warcraft is at its best when we argue about it, question it, and care enough to fight over the story. Thank you for watching, and may the light, or the void, or whatever side you've picked actually do something interesting this time. Thank you for watching again.